This is the voice of the New York Football Giants, Bob Papa, and you are listening to the best throughout Europe, the Big Blue UK and Ireland podcast.
Welcome back, Giants fans, to the latest edition of the Big Blue UK and Ireland podcast. As always, we are proudly in association with Annie's Man Club Lads. Remember, it is okay to talk. And tonight we are 100% British. And as always, we're still 100% Giants. For the first time in 10 weeks, we can say the words, the New York Giants win. That's right, the Giants win a game. Went to the desert on Sunday night and walked away with a dominating 34-10 win, which for those firmly on the tank train may have derailed it slightly, as the Raiders now hold the path to the first overall pick in their own hands. And there may or may not be one of the members of this podcast this evening boycotting anything to do with the New York Football Giants. I'll let you guess who that may be to the viewers. Put your guesses in the comments as to who that might be. I'm joined by Shane.
We ain't got any Giants merch on, any of us.
This is true. This is true. It could be all of us. Could be one of us. Could be two, three. Get your guesses in the comments. Who's boycotting the Giants right now? I'm joined by Shane and by Craig to look back on that win and also look ahead to the final game of this miserable season against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday evening. And lots more to talk about as well. Boys, how we doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Trying to keep my cool, trying to remain composed, trying not to lose my shit. Those eagle-eyed amongst you, I have got my medium Pepsi.
Come on, he's got his medium Pepsi.
Did you go to KFC just for that?
Yeah.
Was it KFC?
Yeah.
Okay, that's me being a fat fuck then.
You just recognise the cup straight away.
Yeah. Oh man, that is embarrassing.
I love that.
Oh yeah, God,
so he's got his medium Pepsi. Craig, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? It's a weird one. Watching it on Sunday was strange. You knew it was coming though. You knew, and like every single thing that we've kind of spoken about over the last few months about certain players and the team and play calling, it was just completely different game plan. The defense looked good. We have a first round kick returner, which Shane is obviously going to be over the moon with. Like, it's
He's going to piss me off already.
Steve has said, is it old Cornet up the top right there? So I mean, we also just take a minute to appreciate Aaron and his incredible handiwork. When Shane sent in a picture to the group chat of him looking rather pissed off on Sunday, that Aaron then turned it into Shane Pingu with the fire Joe Shane top on and the shades, because obviously Abdul Carter got a few sacks, so he had to have the shades on.
Yeah,
I think he started as Penguin, evolved into Penguin with shades, and then become Fire Joe Shane Penguin with shades.
I like the way that it did your hair.
Oh yeah, it's like spot on. Probably a little bit too much there, in all fairness.
But for the audio listeners, we'll put that out on X a bit later tonight.
We'll put it out on our social platforms so you can see it. But incredible work, Aaron, I must say. And Steve, I was saying just before we came on air, I was working early on Monday morning, so I didn't watch the game on Sunday night. But I woke up at like 4 a.m. on Monday morning, catching up with the game day group chat, and I came across that photo, and I was stood in my kitchen, crying with laughter, just looking at that picture, and it was incredible. The best thing I've seen all year. So props to Aaron for that, because it just made me laugh, and it was proper like belly laughing as well. So incredible. Yeah, I mean we got two games to talk about tonight, and like I said, lots of other things as well. So if you are watching live on YouTube, X, Facebook, Get involved in the comments, as plenty of you have been already. Send us your questions. And game predictions for the Dallas game as well, because we will be calling that at the end of the show. And don't forget to like the episode if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. And for audio listeners, leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. Shane, how many stars? We can kind of see it. 5 stars, yeah. A 5-star review on your podcast.
I felt like Booker T then.
You look like the Avengers after the snap there. With your hand disappearing.
This black background, it's merging everything.
Yeah, it's very dark. It's a very dark background you've got there, Shane.
You would choose to wear. You would choose to wear a black t-shirt as well.
You're lucky I didn't put a shirt and tie on.
Just a floating head.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been epic. Maybe go get changed. Go get changed. Go on, Keith. Can Shane dig it, sucker? I love it. Booker T references. Let's keep on going. Yeah, let's get cracking. As usual, we're going to start off with the latest news. I'm going to hand over to Craig for that, for the most recent updates. So what you got?
Yeah, I guess a coaching update in a weird roundabout way, and then a Hall of Fame update as well. So on the coaching side of things, one of the coaches that Giants fans had kind of gravitated towards since the firing of Brian Daboll was Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman, but that one is now dead in the water. We can forget about Freeman joining the Giants. Monday morning, he revealed that he would be returning for the 2026 season with a post on social media that literally just said the word "run it back." Freeman has been the coach for the Fighting Irish for 5 seasons and had gone 43-12, reaching last year's national championship game, losing to Ohio in that one. Obviously, this is bittersweet, I think, for Kev, because he was quite adamant that he wanted him to stay the Notre Dame coach, and he now gets that.
Are you not mentioning how Notre Dame got on in the playoffs this year?
I mean, I'm all for
Kev's listening to this. Kev's listening to this back now, and he's going, "Wow."
Playoffs?
Yeah.
What playoffs?
But they were supposed to be in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, weren't they? But they decided not to play that one against BYU, so it was Georgia Tech in the end. But yeah, you're Shane, you're a little bit more au fait with the college game. What would you have made of Freeman?
I had no interest in him.
No.
It's a tough sell, but I could maybe get behind hiring a guy who's been a coordinator of some sort in the NFL. Hiring a college head coach who's had no NFL experience at all to come and manage a shit show of an organisation is a little bit of a step too far for me. So that's the only reason. There's nothing against Freeman. I think he's a great coach. You know, would I love him at Penn State? Absolutely. But you know, I just think a rookie head coach coming into the NFL who's got no NFL experience was just a step where they've gone, nah.
Keith's just said he'd refuse to play something called the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Keith, you can't pass up the opportunity to get a college trophy that is also a working Pop-Tarts toaster. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
It's
unless you're Notre Dame.
That is true. They did pass it up. And for anybody who is watching or listening, please go back and watch the highlights of the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And by the highlights, I don't mean the action on the field. I mean the pre-match ceremony where 2 of the Pop-Tarts were inducted into the Pop-Tarts Hall of Fame, including gold jackets. It's genius, honestly.
What would Notre Dame not want to take part in that?
That might be one of the best comments we've had in a while from
where's Kevin?
Just not today.
Go on, Darren. I love it.
Would you take Ted Lasso as the Giants head coach? That's from my brother-in-law as well.
Believe.
That's what you need. You need a sign that just has
Absolutely.
believe in the background.
Absolutely. I do not believe in anything that this shit show of an organisation can offer me right now. I can't even call them a team anymore.
We need like a counter in the corner of the amount of just like Shane outbursts at some point tonight.
We could hit triple figures.
I was just about to say over under 99.5.
Over.
Triple, it's fucking coming. Can you tell I'm a little bit pissed off with this team right now?
No.
Especially when you scroll in social media and you've got people like Bobby sharing John Mara a year ago going, oh, if I am still standing in this position again in 12 months' time, then I'll take the heat. Well, yeah, you fucking damn right, you take the heat.
I mean, lay off him a bit. He's not very well at the moment.
Step aside.
There is a lot of chatter around that.
Wish the guy to 100% get well, and I'd rather him be 100% healthy and part of this team than ill and not part of the team. But if health's an issue, step aside. Then, unfortunately,
there was that thing earlier as well about are we retaining Joe Shane because nobody else potentially wants to have, what was it, Tim McDonald was director of player personnel, whatever it is he is, and then you've got one of the others at coaching, and it's just
in charge of the cap.
Abrams, Kevin Abrams.
Kevin Abrams, that's it. He's a fucking idiot.
I mean, at this point, who's the better candidates, Joe Shane or Brandon Brown?
It's true. It is true. Right, let's move on to something more positive and see if Shane can bring it down at some point.
No, you do not bring this down at any point. No.
For the second year in a row, Eli Manning has made the 15-man finalist shortlist for the NFL Hall of Fame. Last year, he was not selected at the expense of Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, and Sterling Sharp Jr. All absolutely within their own rights of being in the Hall of Fame, though. All four of those players. This year, he is joined in the final 15 by first-time eligible players Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Frank Gore, and Jason Witten. The selection committee are allowed to elect up to 5 modern-era players, and the class of 2026 will be unveiled on the 5th of Feb during the NFL Honours. Man, Larry Fitzgerald is a player I wish we'd had on the Giants. He was probably one of my favourite non-Giant players. He should get in. He 100% should. But
I think out of them 4 that are first ballot, I think Breeze and Larry Fitz will both get in. Frank Gore, don't get me wrong, I think he's a great running back, but I don't know if he's first ballot.
Jason Witten is just pure biasy.
If Jason Witten gets in before Eli Manning does, something's fucking wrong with this league.
I mean, it's before my time, but if Jason Witten was voted for just on games against the New York Giants, surely
I was literally about to say the same thing.
He'd be in the Hall of Fame for sure. He'd be in the Hall of Fame for sure. Belushi's when he's inducted.
That's it for news. I suppose the only other news.
Positivity.
That's the positive.
That's the positivity we've got to run with.
I believe in Eli. He's got to get in.
Believe.
Believe.
I thought he was pointing at fear the spear, to be fair.
You do have to fear the spear. I mean, not this year and not last year, but at some point, we'll be back.
You can't spell the word believe without Eli.
If Brian Burns is carrying that spear, then you fear it.
Yeah, indeed.
You absolutely do. Yeah, positivity done. Shall we move on and talk about... Oh, no, there's more positivity because we won a game on Sunday. Didn't we? Yeah, we did. We won a game on Sunday. Believe it or not, we did. For the first time in league history, 2 teams with a combined 26 losses faced off against each other this Sunday just gone. As the 2-13 Giants travelled to the 2-13 Raiders. Also, for the first time in league history, 2 teams with a 9-game losing streak, an active 9-game losing streak, played each other. So we were in for a real treat on Sunday.
And it was on Sky.
Yes, it was on Sky because there was only two There was only 2 games on. Oh, peace. Blues coming up. There was only 2.
It was on Sky.
Yeah. There was only 2 games in the 9 o'clock window on Sunday. So Sky had to show the game. And with obviously the Raiders obviously tanking, it wasn't really a surprise that the Giants ran out comfortable winners, getting our first win on the road since we beat the Seahawks in Week 5 of 2024. So that's right. It's 14 calendar months since we last won on the road, and we now end the season 1-8 on the road instead of 0-9. So that's a positive. That's a positive. We won a game on the road this season. Come on. Give round of applause. Jackson Dart ran in 2 scores. Wendell Robinson, as he's now known, clearly, but because the commentator clearly can't say his fucking name right.
What was he calling him? Sorry, because I had read someone on and I had it muted.
Wendell Robinson.
Wendell.
Yeah,
Wendell.
And
not Wendell.
And then the colour commentator was really impressed with Marcus Mbo the whole game.
Yeah, Marcus Mbo. Mbo.
Who was the commentator?
Wasn't that a song by Hanson in the like 1990s or something? Mbo. No, that was Mbop, wasn't it? Yeah, there you go. The M's silent, you retard, for fuck's sake.
Too young for that reference.
But sorry, man. Wendell Robinson racked up. Get it on Spotify, you'll love it. Wendell Robinson racked up 113 yards receiving to take him over the magical 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. Congratulations, Wendell Robinson. And Tay Banks might have found himself a new role as our kickoff returner, taking 95 yards back to the house to put us 27-10 up heading into the 4th quarter. All in all, complimentary football was seen on Sunday in all 3 phases, albeit against clearly the worst team in the league in the Las Vegas Raiders. That's right, they are worse than us. The offense put up 343 total yards, with 155 of those on the ground, averaging 5 yards a carry. Not a bad showing from the running game. And we didn't turn the ball over either. The defense picked off ex-Giant Geno Smith twice, sacked him 4 times too. We held Ashton Genty to 60 yards on 16 carries. At halftime, the Raiders had a total of 1 rushing yard in the first half. So we did a good job there. Unbelievably, the run defense was actually turned up for once. And we finished with 9 tackles for loss as well. And then lastly, on special teams, Ben Souls. Where's he come from? 4 out of 4 on PATs and 2 out of 2 on field goals, albeit from 23 and 32 yards. But still, consistency in the kicking game, that's what we've asked for all fucking season. And we finally got it in week 18 or week 17.
Genuine question. Where have we found him from? Sorry, I've been tuned out.
He was
off the sofa. He was an undrafted rookie free agent out of Pitt that was at Pittsburgh. And then Pittsburgh let him go, and we picked him up onto the practice squad. He is also left-footed.
He is left-footed.
I think somebody turned around and said he was the first left-footed kicker to kick in the NFL since Janikowski or something. I think that I heard that once on the broadcast on Sunday after I tuned out a little bit, so I might be wrong there, but he's definitely left.
Left-footed kinker.
Whoa. Let's calm that down.
Let's not talk about left-footed kinking. That's something completely different.
I want to bring some positivity.
Yeah, you're Mr. Positive tonight, Shane, with the black background. Boycott.
As you were going to say.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we're the one. When the last team was, if we're the first to have left-footed kicker and punter on the team.
Yeah, probably. I would imagine so. I can't imagine there's been many of either, let alone together.
No.
Also, special shout out to Ben Sauls for the fact that his longest field goal was 30. What did you say? 30?
32, I think it was.
Yeah, his longest kick was 40-odd yards because on one of the touchdowns, we had a foul that pushed the extra point back to longer than his longest field goal.
Yeah. I mean, having some consistency in the kicking game, like I said, is what we've been asking for all season. And we can actually covered the kickoffs and we covered kickoffs and punts pretty well as well. Only allowed 53 combined yards. Left foot, right foot, knocks in with Todger. I mean, we're talking third leg here, Keith.
Oh, what is going on tonight?
It is
There's
the
going
last.
to be a Shane
it's
and
the-
Craig breakdown moment at some point tonight. I
Yeah.
can feel it. It's in the air.
It's the last podcast of the year. Something's in the air. But yeah. So overall, all in all, what's not to like about the win on Sunday? It's pretty positive, right? Held the Raiders in check pretty much the whole game, and the only thing we couldn't really do is defend on fourth down. They converted 4 out of 5 of them. So yeah. Anything impress you in the win, Shane?
Yeah, the fact that no matter what, they proved me right every time. This was the lock. This was a banker. What was it? Was it Gary Neville who said all them years ago? This was the one. This was the could not miss. I can't remember what the quote is that he says, but it was always going to be. It was always going to be a Giants win. I don't know how anybody predicted anything other than a Giants win the weekend. It was the biggest banker of the weekend.
That's what impressed you.
Yeah, that proved me right.
Yeah.
Because all I want was the top draft pick. You started me. So all I wanted was the number 1 draft pick, trade back, get some picks, etc., etc. But no, we can't do that. And then I have to read, thanks to Craig, that we're going to keep Joe Shane. Like, how do we get worse and you keep in a job? Like, there's got to be some kind of sick joke. Like, I can't go off on one because I'm going to get cancelled.
You're gonna get cancelled. Craig, anything stand out for you? Any player in particular stand out for you?
In my defence, I did not watch the game, genuinely. I didn't watch the game. I chose to watch Red Zone and watch the 2 games flickering back and forth than watch that game for the full 3.5 hours or whatever.
That's fine.
I did because, I'm masochistic, I guess. Psychopath. There are a few players that do deserve shout outs and Shane begrudgingly, when he looks back in a few years' time, will go, you know what, my boy actually had a pretty good game that night, because he did have 7 pressures, 3 hurries, 3 hits, 1 sack, 2 tackles, had a pretty good game all round. Burns had 2 sacks. Brian Burns.
What a season.
Shane, I'm going to upset you now. I'm going to do it. I can't help myself. I can't help myself.
What is it that says like poke the bear?
You cannot.
The black background.
Cannot deny the Brian Burns trade was a hit.
Absolutely. Of all the 100 decisions he's got to do, he got 1 right. Fucking bravo. Well, everybody, when we were linked to Brian Burns' trade, everybody said, you do it. Nobody went, that's a bad trade. Nobody. So well done, Joe Shane. You got the fucking obvious right, along with drafting Adol Carter and Malik Neighbours.
Oh, God, I just couldn't resist.
Not Jackson Dart, no?
No, because that was Dable's decision. There's even a video from Draft Night where Joe Shane goes, if you guys have the conviction. That doesn't sound like a general manager that had the conviction to me.
Back to the players. Defense, Darius Alexander had a great game. Dane Belton obviously had an interception. Bobby Okereke had an interception to go along with his 8 combined tackles. Some really impressive performances. You've already mentioned 1K Dale Robinson, who obviously broke 1,000 yards. He is the shortest wide receiver in NFL history to get over 1,000 yards.
I thought you were in that conversation with.
He's the shortest wide receiver in history.
The receiving stats on there.
Wes Welker was 5'9". When he got 1,000 yards, he's probably still 5'9", to be fair. And Walker Robinson 5.8. So the smallest wide receiver. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Just one thing from me on the game, and this is like me being genuine and serious momentarily. Nobody can tell me they watched that game and the Raiders were going 100%.
Oh no, there were some
Absolutely.
business. There were some proper business decision tackles.
That Bobby O interception.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
You're
The one where I
you're
was like,
literally throwing it at him.
I was like, these motherfuckers ain't genuine. They're not even trying to hide it at this point.
In the red zone as well, pretty much on the goal line. Bobby O intercept literally just sort of stood there.
I wouldn't even
waiting
go
for
there.
it.
Don't. Why? Oh,
There you go. History making Jay Shane draft pick. The stats say it all.
at least I got one draft pick right. We'll forget about Xavier McKinney and Julian Love and.
It's fine. We've got Deontay Banks returning kickoffs, touchdowns.
Oh yeah, great, fantastic. That cheers me right, fucking up.
I mean, he's better at a fucking kick return than he is at being a quarterback.
He wasn't drafted number 23 overall to be a fucking kick returner though, or whatever
Why
he
not?
was, 24, 25
Why
overall.
not? The game's a game.
Shane's going to log off soon, where he has an aneurysm.
I'm really having a battle with myself on the inside to keep the ball.
Oh, come on, Keith. Robinson's the same size as R2-D2, but made 1,000 yards. Oh, I love it. I love it. Where were we? Who? Did anyone else stand up for you, Craig?
No, I think that was it.
Yeah, good. Yeah, like I said, it was a all-round good performance, really, against a team that was, like I say, quite obviously tanking at times. And, you know, obviously, I think winning the game, obviously, it's always nice to see the Giants win a game, regardless of which way you look at it. It's always nice to see us actually win a game. But when we've won a combined 6 games in the last 2 seasons, it's kind of like a bit of a... And obviously the situation we're in terms of if we lose the game, number 1 overall is ours. Do you choose a win or the number 1 overall pick? You know, which boat are you on? Which train are you on, should I say? But hey-ho, and fuck off, Wolves have scored. Bollocks. Really? My God.
Oh shit!
bad
Are you just trying to
Exactly.
You just trying to ruin my night? Like, do you just want to make sure I have the shittest Tuesday ever to end 2025? Like, come on.
I mean, it is 1-1. I'll give you
Oh, I
that.
suppose
It's
at least you're not losing.
Yeah.
You can't be
Yeah,
losing
exactly.
to them. I'm not going to say it 'cause you get cancelled. I'll let Steve say it in the comments.
All right, yeah. Steve can say it in the comments.
You
All right,
can't
let's
get
move on to the
cancelled if it's in writing.
let's move on to the Cowboys game this weekend. In the group chat before we came on, what's to say about the Cowboys season? Shit, they missed the playoffs. They're done. But there's been more to the season for Dallas. I think they come to MetLife to round out the season on Sunday, looking to finish the season with back-to-back wins after they beat Commanders on Christmas Day. They've been very up and down this season. At one point, they looked like a challenge for Philadelphia for the NFC's title, but they went on that 3-game losing streak at the beginning of December, which ended their playoff hopes and kind of left them wondering where it all went wrong. They should really, going into next season, feel pretty hopeful because, like offensively, they've got some real sort of scary weapons. Javonte Williams had a great year. He's rushed for over 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns. Both George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb have both had 1,000-yard seasons, with Pickens only 80 yards shy of 1,500. Dak's had his second most productive season, only behind 2019. He currently leads the league in passing yards with just shy of 4,500, so he'll come close to career best numbers after Sunday's game. So, the Cowboys' offense have got a lot to feel positive about, but it's on defense where they've really struggled. Conceded the most points out of any team in the league through 17 weeks. Yep, even more than the Raiders, the Bengals, the Titans. They're allowing their opponents to score on average of almost 30 points per game, and they're allowing over 375 yards of offense per game as well, which is 3rd worst across the league. It comes as no surprise, really, after the sort of mammoth trade letting Micah Parsons go to Green Bay just before the start of the season. And they go into next season really looking to fill that gap because they haven't filled that gap this year. Whatever they've tried this year hasn't worked, and they really need to fill that massive gaping chasm left by Micah Parsons in the middle of that defense. But just before we do move on, like obviously with the Cowboys defense struggling, how aggressive do you think our game plan should be this weekend if we're looking to win this game, Craig?
I almost feel like doing a Jose Mourinho saying I prefer not to speak just because I'm just worried about what might happen about anything I do say.
I can go to our esteemed colleague Shane if he's
They are struggling on defense, but offensively they are very good. So I do think this one will be a high scoring shootout between the two teams. Just makes perfect sense. There does seem to be a little bit of hearsay around what Jerry Jones is saying in the fact that Dak will start the game but might not play all of the game. I do wonder how many of their backups you might see, and whether Mike Kafka sees this as another notch on his belt sort of thing by picking up the win. I think if you look at last week and you look at this week and you look at what it can actually do for our draft position, this week has the possibility of being a lot worse in the terms of dropping us down. However, earlier today, the Cowboys did release Trayvon Diggs as well, and they're taking a massive cap hit on that one. So he obviously hasn't been performing well. So we'll see what happens with the backups. But I think if there's one thing that we've seen with what Kafka did on Sunday is that he will get aggressive, and he was definitely aggressive in that game versus what he'd been like the previous few weeks. But you don't want him to get too aggressive with a quarterback who we've seen what's happened. Like I'm not going to start talking about the concussions because it's been blown out of proportion. He's been checked 5 times, but he's only had 1, and a few of those checks were crap. So the whole stigmatism around the fact that he's an injury-prone, reckless quarterback has been blown out of proportion. But in the same sentence, it's week 18. Please don't start forcing our potential franchise quarterback over the next few years that we hope to start taking unnecessary shots when, half his mind should be in Cancun as it is.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Shane, what do you expect to see this weekend? Apart from a loss.
I don't know, because the best way I can describe it is, and I'm having very similar feelings with my football team right now, is I feel nothing. Like this team, they win and I'm like, okay, cool. They lose and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm now at the point where and some people will argue this is probably better for your mental health, but the result doesn't affect me anymore. I'm immune to the result.
You're numb to it.
Yeah, I'm just like, what? Let's get the season over because I'm just sick of this shit, to be honest with you now. So that's if they win, I'm just gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, you fucked out off pick. Could have worked that one out. And if I lose, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, okay, cool. We've got number 2 overall, or potentially number 1, depending on how the Raiders get on. So for me,
they play Kansas City this weekend.
It was also a division rival, and they've got QB3, I think I want to say. So Kansas might try and do one over on the Raiders themselves as well, and sort of turn around and say we'll chuck this game. But like I say, that's just the way I've felt with this team for probably the last 2 months. In all honesty, I'm just like, the result is what it is. It doesn't affect me no more. If I'm busy when the game's on, I'm not thinking, oh shit, I've got to get back to watch the game. I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll just see the notification on my phone when things happen. It's where it's like, oh, let's have a look at the young talent that we've got, because it's like, why? What's it ever done for us before? Nothing. We're still shit. We still have a losing season.
I do
that's
wonder
what 3 years of losing football does to you.
Obviously, we want the Raiders to win, ideally, on Sunday. But I do wonder, with this potentially being Travis Kelce's final NFL game, which is what it's kind of pointing towards.
Is that confirmed, is it?
Well, he said he'll make his mind up in the off-season, but obviously he's not getting any younger. He's not really kind of, he's not fallen off, but he definitely doesn't have the step that he used to. He's still putting up great numbers and still getting all the Swifties to vote him to the Pro Bowl. But there is a potential chance, and I don't think he knows yet. So I still think he would want to go out with a bang if it was to happen. So there is potential that he might try and show up. But as Paul says, the Taylor Swift effect. Paul obviously being from the UK Cowboys side, he has actually said, coming from the Cowboys side of things, Giants have a lot of potential upside in the future with Dart. No question. If Dart plays out against our defense, I'd expect a lot of RPO. That Eberflus defense have been under a lot of fire this year. A lot of fire.
So they're third worst in terms of given yards per game given up on defense, and they are the worst team in the league in terms of points given up across the 17 weeks of the season. So yeah, they're really under the cosh on their defense. I just want to see a good game. That's all I want to see. A good game to end the season. With both defenses being shite, with both offenses being exciting. Like you said, Craig, I think it could potentially be a bit of a shootout at the weekend. So I think the over/under currently is 51.5. So I expect that to go over. I'd be surprised if it doesn't. But yeah, I mean, let's just get the season over and done with and look forward to 2026, right? That's all we can do.
Well, no, because we're keeping the general manager. I can't even look forward to next year because we're keeping the fucking general manager.
That's not guaranteed. I hope it's not guaranteed. Remember what Aaron said a couple of weeks ago. If you want Joe Shane to get fired, give this episode a like. Because there you go. Even it was a thumbs up. Give it a like.
Even the cameras are playing with us.
Exactly. The camera agrees.
Paul saying he wouldn't be surprised if you see Dak play because he wants the passing yards title, which he's against. You guys understand one injury affects into. Yeah, it's late in the season.
I mean, do you? I mean, personal accolades, like I get it, but at the same time, it's like, do you risk going into the off season with Dak with having an injury, or do you have him going into the off season relatively
he did his ACL
healthy?
Not long ago, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly that. Relatively healthy and just sort of nursing minor sort of knocks and things like that, and actually coming back to the beginning of camp, all firing. I think I'm probably on the same side as you, Paul, in terms of, like I said, maybe playing for a half. I don't know, and then see where the game's at, or maybe don't play him at all. But then it's against the Giants defense, so it's not exactly a hard ask, is it? All right then. That's the game preview. We'll be bringing predictions at the end, so stay tuned for that and get them in the comments if you want to predict this weekend's game. But it's Tankathon update time. Isn't that right, Shane? Where do we stand and what permutations? Love that word, permutations, are there for us in week 18?
So there's 3 words that summarise it. We fucked it.
I have the graphic here if you need it, Shane.
Which one? Oh God, do I want to see this graphic?
I
actually saved it to refer to it earlier on.
Thank you to Doug Analytics for this graphic.
Yeah, good lad.
Follow Doug Analytics on Twitter like he's in the top 5 Giants people that you should be following 100%. But kind of as you can see on there. So if we fucked it this weekend, if we well and truly this coming weekend and we do get the win, we can potentially drop down as far as number 7, which I'm not even going to bear thinking about, to be perfectly honest with you. So as you can see, with a New York Giants win, each lost by Browns, Titans, Cardinals, Jets, and Commanders drops the New York Giants 1 draft position down from number 2. If we lose and Vegas lose, it's very simple. They stay at 1 and we stay at 2. However, if we lose and the Taylor City Chiefs do us a favour and Vegas wins, then we need at least 2 of the following things to happen. We need Seattle to beat San Francisco, Cleveland to beat Cincinnati, Atlanta to beat New Orleans, and Chicago to beat Detroit. We need at least two of those. Two of those happens, then you've got it. New York Giants are number one, and if it doesn't, then the New York Giants stay at pick number 2. As per the Athletic, they currently have the Giants' likelihood of getting the number 1 pick at 23%, with number 2 being 42%. The next highest percentage they've got the Giants being at number 6 with 14%.
I think if you look at those matchups, it's not good reading, is it? Like
It's really not.
Are Cincinnati going to beat Cleveland? Yeah, probably.
I think that's probably the only one that I would be not too sure about.
Yeah, I mean, the Jags are going for the number 1 seed. They have a very, very slim chance of getting it, but they are going for it. So they're not going to lose against Tennessee.
No.
The Rams technically.
They can't get the 1 seed, can they? So they could just bench players.
They could.
They can't get number 1.
They can still get the 5 seed, which means that they would end up going against arguably the 2 weakest teams on the NFC side, which is the Panthers or the Bucks. So they might be looking at that, but they need Seattle to beat San Fran in order for that to happen. Buffalo could rest starters. I don't think that Buffalo... Oh, no. Buffalo can still win the AFC East.
But even then, it's against the Jets.
Yeah, it is against the Jets.
The Pats clinched the division last weekend.
Oh, of course they did, because they lost to the Eagles, didn't they?
They've locked it. They've locked in a wild card.
So the Bills could rest starters.
Yeah, they can move up to the 6th seed, but that's as high as they can go. They can't go any or no, they can go up to 5th seed. Sorry, but they can't go any higher than that. So they're going to be playing wild card weekend. It's just a matter of if they move up to 5, they could play. The chances are they'd probably play either Pittsburgh or Baltimore if they stay at 6.
Can Philly move? Because Philly might rest starters.
Philly will do anything though to screw us over.
True.
Philly, they can move up to the 2nd seed.
Okay.
So
what we're saying is, if we win, we're probably picking 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd imagine between 5 and 7.
Shane, would O-line be a priority for next year?
No, Paul. O-line would not be a priority.
I'm sure Paul was quite naive in asking that, and
Paul probably has no idea about my hatred for offensive linemen.
But Shane, feel free to divulge in that hatred of offensive line in the draft. Shane, over to you.
No.
Can I ask a semi-serious question, semi-poke the bear question?
It's a poke the bear question.
It's a 50-50. It's a 50-50.
Who would you look at 7?
Caleb Downs, if he's there. I quite liked Bobby Skinner's shout on Twitter yesterday or today. I don't know how it was. Babe, I'd actually favour taking a tight end over a wide receiver, especially at that kind of range. Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon, he's an absolute stud. I'm only interested in Carnell Tate. I have no interest in Jordan Tyson. So if Carnell Tate was gone, I wouldn't be against taking a tight end, probably a 7. I don't think 7's a reach. I mean, you've seen, was it Brock? You've seen Cole Pitts go in the top 10. Brock Bowers, I think was he top 10, I want to say.
I want to say he was 8. Was he 7 or 8?
Yeah, he was in that range. So, I wouldn't be against a tight end. I thought that's quite a good shape from Bobby, to be honest. It's something I personally hadn't thought about. It's probably a little bit early for Sonny Styles, who's the guy that is my official draft crush at this point. He's going to be a first rounder without a doubt. And he's also a linebacker, which means we've got no fucking help attacking him.
Not in the first round, no.
No. So
Brock Bowser's 13 overall, by the way.
So this is just more hypotheticals from me here. I'm sorry, Dan, I'm kind of excluding you because it's all college talk. But
yeah, I'm all for it.
Say Mendoza's the only quarterback that comes out. That obviously stops any teams from coming up to two, because we know the Raiders will end up taking Mendoza. It's going to happen. Obviously, last year we saw the Browns trade with the Jags, number 2 overall, so they could take Hunter. Is there anyone in the draft class that you would say, other than maybe Arvell Reese, that anybody would be interested in 2 if there isn't that second quarterback?
No, I don't think so. I think kind of your number one wide receiver, whether it's Jordan or whether it's Tate, you're going to kind of take them in the top 5, top 6. Similar with, I mean, Caleb Downs is a safety, so he's automatically going to probably drop down into the closer towards the 10 region, in all honesty. Downs is one of the few blue chip prospects I've got marked up as in this draft. You got Jeremiah Love, obviously, at Notre Dame. Again, it's the positional value versus where you're picking. So he's not going to go in the top 5. I'd imagine. I think there's a lot of chatter in regards to the Chiefs potentially trying to do something with him. But yeah, I think, Arvell Reese is probably your next best. I probably don't. I love the player, but I just don't think he's going to be a good fit for the Giants. He's just Abdul Carter. Essentially, he's a linebacker that can play off the edge, that can do a lot of blitzing, which we've kind of already got. And to be fair, do the Raiders take Mendoza? I genuinely don't know. It's not a great QB draft class. There's only one there. Obviously, QBs will get talked up as they always do. But, I do wonder, do the Raiders try and get a bit of a ransom, a couple of number ones potentially to move out of the number 1 position. And then next year, you hope there's a better option. It comes down to that, how much you believe in Mendoza and how much you want to set that opportunity when it presents itself to you in the here and now with the number 1 pick.
I love in the fact that everyone's cottoned on to the not to poke the bear questions, but obviously Drew Aller got injured. Has he got any years of eligibility? What do you think?
No,
what do you reckon?
He's got to declare this year. I'm pretty sure he has.
What do you reckon happens with him? Because he didn't look great this year, did he?
Nah, he had a shit year, really. He did the right thing in going back. He just didn't play like he needed to. He's probably kind of that round 6, round 7 is where I'd probably want to take him. You might get a team that gambles in kind of round 4, round 5 and says, based on what we've seen last year, we can try and develop him. But if he went undrafted, I wouldn't be amazed.
Similar to Jordan Travis, what happened with him?
Yeah, exactly. The only difference is I think Travis had a little bit more of a serious injury in terms of an ACL.
I don't know how much you've done on the old college side of things. Claiborne from LSU, Rodriguez from Texas Tech.
Yeah, Claiborne, I've seen a bit of tape of. Rodriguez, I've not as of yet. I do agree with that. There's probably more defensive players that stand out than there is on offense. Unsurprising to anyone, I've not done any research on O-line yet, so I'm not in a position to comment on those, unfortunately.
Shock. What you mean you haven't watched any O-line tape yet?
No, fully enough, I ain't.
It doesn't matter how shit the Giants are; they still won't force Shane to watch O-line tape.
Nope. No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, I'd rather watch the last 9 weeks than watch O-line tape.
I mean, we've got Aaron. Aaron can watch all the O-line tape in the world, can't he? So, he won't mind at all. He can do all the O-line watching for all of us.
He is our guru.
He is our O-line guru. Yeah, I mean, it is all to play for this weekend, right? There's so many things that can actually happen. Can I see the Giants winning? Potentially. Is that going to fuck us up? Potentially. And it's one of those things that like I said, if you've watched Giants football for as long as I have, I always want the Giants to win. I'm always going to back them to win a game, or want them to win a game. Sorry, back them. But at the same time, I know what the difference between having the number 2 overall pick and having the number 7 overall pick in next year's draft. I know the difference between the two is massive, because if we're sitting at 2, or even if we're sitting at 1, the likelihood is we probably trade out of that position and pick ourselves up some extra picks, whether it's this year, next year, whatever. If we're at 7, I think we're sticking and picking the 7. In all likelihood, and you never know, if Joe Shane's still in charge, he might fuck it up even more for us. But at the same time, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But obviously, there's still plenty of players that are yet to sort of declare for the draft, and sort of or give their intention. So obviously that can all change. There could be more than one quarterback available, or sort of in that bracket, and sort of in the top few picks. What's the guy out of Oregon? What's his name?
Dante Moore.
Yeah. I know if I was reading something on him the other day, if he declares he's likely to go fairly high. How true that is, I don't know.
Raiders and he declares I'm taking him off Mendoza. I'm not a Mendoza guy at all.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like if he's he's had a pretty good season. So if he declares for the draft, then that's potentially 2 quarterbacks in the top 2. If we're at number 2, we're potentially looking to trade out. If there's only one quarterback that is going to go in the sort of top 5, then do we stick and pick at 2 and take the best player available? So there's so many different things that can happen at this point. And we are at the end of December, so we're 4 months away from the draft yet. So we'll be getting into plenty of this over the next few months, and sort of as and when players declare, and sort of we'll be doing multiple mock drafts, no doubt, in the lead up to it, and just having lots of discussions and going into it in a lot more detail. But yeah, I mean, we put the graphic up on screen earlier of what the permutations are for this weekend. The Giants lose, we're 1 or 2. The Giants win, it could be anywhere from 2 to 7. So there's a lot to play for this weekend, and no doubt the other teams that are around us as well, like the Browns, Titans, Cardinals, Jets, and Washington. No doubt they'll be looking at our result pretty closely as well, because obviously if we win the game, then they're potentially going to get a higher pick than what we would. So there's going to be all eyes on the bottom end of the standings this week, as well as on the top end of the standings this weekend as well, because there are still playoff seedings to play for. Should we call the game?
Yeah, we can do some predictions, and then we can tangent if we have any tangents that tickle our fancy, or if anybody's got anything in the comments that they want to throw in.
That doesn't involve poking the bear, please. Thank you.
He's all poked out.
I'm sure there's more pokes coming your way, Shane.
Oi.
Steady now.
All right, yeah, let's call the game. Have we got predictions, the update on the season?
Yeah, once it's starts to load.
3 back on Shane now. All done and dusted.
What did you have the past weekend?
I had the Raiders winning, but I called the game on Monday. So it was like a whole week before the game, essentially.
I'm really upset my tie didn't happen. I was quite looking forward to that.
Did you go for a tie? Love it.
Yeah, 17-17 tie. Didn't happen.
Nice. Kevin Aaron.
What was that?
It never even looked close.
No, it really didn't. It really didn't. Kevin Aaron tied 4th with 7. Craig, straight down the middle, 8 out of 16. Are you going to go above 500 this weekend? Myself on 11, Shane on 14. The one weekend he decides to back the Giants go and win. So congratulations to you.
I wouldn't mind. I bookmarked this game as a win about 6 weeks ago. There was an episode many weeks ago where I said there's one game in particular I fancy the Giants to win, and it's always been the Raiders.
I mean, I went for a Raiders win just because I refused to pick the Giants the rest of the season, and I was stuck by that. Hey ho, it is what it is. All right, Kev's prediction is up first. Craig, over to you.
Hold on. So, Craig, you've seen these predictions, yeah?
Yep.
Dan, you haven't. So
No.
not including your own for obvious reasons. Out of the 4, how many do you reckon have gone for Giants win?
2.
How many out of Kev, Aaron, Craig, and me do you reckon have gone for a Giants win?
2 of you.
I fancy 3.
Oh,
I'm the only one who knows.
And then we're about to find out.
we are.
Right, we'll do it one by one. Who has
Go on.
Kev gone for?
Giants.
He has 17-21 win for the Giants.
That was a given. Come on,
Who has Aaron gone for?
Giants.
Ooh.
Oh,
21-16 Cowboys.
What's going on with the
win.
low scores? Fucking hell. Neither of these teams have a defense.
Who have I gone for?
Giants.
Yeah, I'll go Giants.
Yeah, Cowboys 31-24.
Okay.
Dan's gone for Cowboys.
Absolutely, I've gone for Dallas 33-27. We finished the season 3-14.
And Shane's going
As
to
we did
bookend
last
it with the
year,
Giants.
and
The Giants
we'll end this absolutely dire season with the number 2 overall pick. Because Las Vegas aren't winning this weekend.
So on the screen
Okay.
is 4 stars. But remember, if you listen to this show, you need to give us 5 stars. See what I did there.
27-20 Cowboys. Like it. Kev's howling this weekend.
he's doing something.
Yeah, I'm fully not surprised he went for a Giants win. I'm surprised they went for such a low scoring game. I said, considering we don't have a defense.
Kev's got to have gone for the most Giants wins this season.
I'd imagine so. I would imagine
16
so.
out of 17. Oh no, he's set him and I think him and Aaron are set one, I suppose. They're set. They've predicted 7 right. Yeah. I think,
If
he must
we get a chance, we got to see them stats next week. Who went for Giants the most and who didn't? I mean, there's no surprise as to who didn't.
I could definitely find that out. 100%.
I mean, I think I've backed them twice this year.
Once.
I backed them quite a few times to begin with, but have bucked that trend in recent weeks.
Really,
And you've started creeping up the table.
I have.
There we go. Any predictions in the comments?
Yeah, loads. So we'll start with Paul's. Obviously, Paul being a Cowboys fan, he said got the Cowboys slightly taking the edge. It's going to be competitive. 23-17. Dart is going to expose us when out of the pocket. So, and still a low scorer though. You know, that's what combined 40 points.
40 points, yeah. That's well under the 51.5, isn't it?
It is. I don't know if this is just one more than what's actually going to happen, because I do think it could go either way quite easily, but everybody else has gone for a Dallas win. So Steve 27-17, Keith 33-27.
Same prediction,
Same as Dan. Darren 24-14, and Keith has gone 33-21. So not far off yours either there, Dan.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's shame there's no 3 predictions the same this week.
No,
that
isn't.
That will never happen again.
No. It's interesting, isn't it? Because the majority of us have gone for Dallas, despite the fact that we're all still worried. Right?
The thing is, I can see us winning this game, especially off the back of this weekend just gone and the fact how bad the Cowboys defense is. I could see that score that I predicted being the other way around. I just hope it's not, because I want that number 2 overall pick as a minimum. I think we've been absolutely awful this season, and I think we deserve to have that number 2 pick, because I think it's been one of those years where it's just you just want to forget it and move on, and either select the best player available at 2 or get a haul of picks in exchange for it. So it's just it'll be a silver line into the end of the season. A silver line to the very grey cloud that has been the season.
Any more tangents, Shane?
How much time we got?
Well, we've got half an hour if you want to go for another half an hour.
I just thought maybe not a tangent as such, but maybe revisiting a conversation we mentioned in the group chat earlier on about the Illuminor versus Wandale conversation. Obviously, Wandale off the back of his 1,000-yard season, essentially now going into free agency. Obviously, free agent has been
It's a great question.
Obviously, he's going to be in free agency along with Jermaine Illuminor, along with a man who feels kind of forgotten at this point. How he started the season in Cordell Flott as well.
Mm.
Yeah, we haven't heard a lot from Flott recently.
And he started the season really well.
Has he? He's been injured a little bit, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Last few weeks he's been injured. You know what? If we had to re-sign 2 out of 3, I think I'd let Jermaine Illuminor go.
See, I'd let Wandale go.
Would you? Off the back of this season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One season isn't enough for me to turn and say, here's a 16+ million a year contract. And like I mentioned in the group chat the other day, this is the best the O-line has been in years. Why disrupt it and let somebody go in the hope that Bo can step up? Because then if Bo doesn't step up, so like not that I have an agenda against Joe Shea, but let's just imagine a world where he lets Jermaine Illuminor go and this offensive line regresses drastically. That's the first thing that people are gonna say. Why did you let him walk when for the first time in years we had consistency and a semi-decent offensive line? Why did you let him go? So for me, I'm on
Spot Rack.
Yeah,
and Spot Rack are normally pretty good with their market values, and they have market values for all 3 players. So if we start with Flott is projected a 4-year, 39.5 million deal, which is 9.9 average per year.
So just under 10 mil APY.
Yeah. Illuminor is projected 2 years at just under 17, so 8.5 average per year.
Okay.
I think that's too cheap.
So do I. I
I
think he'll break 10 per year.
I think he's close to the 13 a year.
Yeah. He's definitely above that.
Yeah, I would say minimum. I'd say sort of 10 to 12, that sort of range.
Yeah.
APY.
Market value for Wandale is apparently 59.75 across 4 years at a 14.9
so
average.
That's 15 a year, isn't it?
15
I think he's free agency. He'll go for more than 16 a year APY.
Yeah, there's
Titans have got a lot of cap space this year.
Right,
a lot of cap space this year. Both of them need wide receivers. You got a wide receiver coming out into free agency who's just hit 1,000 yards. Why wouldn't you chuck 18, 20 million at him?
I think the biggest problem for us is the position he plays, isn't it?
Yeah.
With Slayton locked down in a pretty when you reflect on it, a pretty poor contract for the Giants. With Neighbours obviously locked down and hopefully coming back, in a weird masochistic way, it's actually better that he tore his ACL when he did, because it gives him a longer recovery period than obviously doing it late. So we should
if he's done it now, exactly.
Yeah, we should have him for early season, I would imagine.
I think
with those two,
he'll probably feature. I reckon he might sort of feature sort of in camp.
Yeah. But I would say that we would probably look at maybe a slot receiver or somebody who can play in there. I did see I'm just hijacking this a little bit here, Shane, and going off onto another tangent. But I did see a few people saying about whether we should trade Slayton for a low pick to get the salary off the books and like take a little bit of a hit on it. Would you do that, or would you keep him
Yeah,
around?
I wouldn't be against that. I like Slayton more than like. I feel like it's kind of cool to hate Slayton in one way. Like I think he's not had a great year, no, but I think prior to this year he'd kind of been reliable and consistent. When you think, especially was it last year or the year before, he was a guy who was on the verge of being cut from the team completely. He not only played his way back into the team, but also played his way into a contract extension. So I wouldn't be against that. But I think we've won. Just on about Wandale for a second again. I think when you think you've got Malik Neighbours, you anticipate the Giants drafting a weapon of some sort in the draft, whether it be a wide receiver or whether it be a tight end. And if it's a tight end, why do I want to pay 18 million for a slot wide receiver when I've got a tight end on a rookie deal that can be just as effective?
Yeah, exactly. And I think Slayton's not had the best season. He's only just hit 500 yards receiving. I think, and Theo Johnson's got more receiving yards than he has. So that says a lot. He's only got one touchdown in the year as well. So I think, I think if a new GM does come in, this was obviously the big if. Shane's fucking hoping and praying to every single god there is available. If a new GM does come in, they would have to look at the Slayton situation because he's just not performed this season. He's played in 13 games as well, so it's not like he's been. He's not like he's missed a lot of time through injury. He's just not being targeted, and that I think a lot of that comes down to reliability because we've seen some drops from Slayton this year, and we've seen drops from Slayton throughout his whole career. And I think I genuinely think it could be time up for him in New York, and you could look to offload him somewhere for a 6th or a 7th round pick. In all honesty.
So great. Who would you extend, Jermaine or Wandale?
Probably Jermaine, and the reason being is that with the stability that we have on the offensive line, that's something we didn't have after the 2011 Super Bowl. Like after that, we just never had a consistent O-line, and it showed that no matter how good your quarterback is, and obviously we had Eli at the time, without a solid O-line, and it's something that Paul said earlier when he was sort of responding to you and saying about O-line not being sexy, but obviously he doesn't know your history with the O-line. He was saying, I would do anything to protect Dart. It's not most lavish, but they speak from experience. Guyton, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick. Like, we almost need to maybe even look at the Cowboys as a blueprint as to what to do with your offensive line and what can be done. Especially when you've got Neighbours for another 2 years on a rookie deal. I guarantee Neighbours will get paid in year 4. It will happen, but we need to solidify that. And with the hoo-ha around Dart and his health and all of that, we're going to need to protect him. I do think that we have holes on the offensive line. I don't know why you would let somebody walk to create one. Like, we're going to have to replace Van Roten probably, because even up until a few days ago, Kafka was still saying that they like Bo as a tackle, and Runyon just hasn't worked out. It just hasn't worked out. So we have issues there. JMS has been getting better, but he's been injury prone. You could say, like, he has missed time a lot. So why would you not keep somebody who's gone over 1,000 snaps for the first time in his career?
It's very true. I think, my head says like we extend Jermaine Luminor. Well, no, my head says we extend Wandale, because I think just off the back of that season, they're looking at it and go, we lose him and we lose Slayton. Like, what weapons have we got on offense? So it's like, do they extend Wandale and let Slayton go? Do they keep Slayton and let Wandale? But then I think at the same time, we'd be stupid to not extend Jermaine, because having that consistency on the either end of the line, we need it more than ever. Andrew Thomas has been obviously consistent when he's in the game, but again, his keeping him healthy is very difficult. So I'm torn.
That's another point, though. That's another great point, that if you let Illuminor walk and then Thomas has injury issues,
yeah,
you're starting Bowen and who? You're gonna try and get Stone Forsyth back.
Here's one for you.
Is he gonna piss me off?
Yeah, it is. I will openly admit it's going to piss you off, but I'm going to say it anyway. Rewind 2 years. Rewind 2 years time. Yeah, you've got somebody who's playing at a very, very good level and could be elite, and is somebody that we think is going to solidify a position group that we don't want to let go. And on the other hand, we have a player who is coming off of a very, very, very good season, but their statistics across the entirety of their career hasn't always lived up. But the problem is we have a GM who, at that instance, let Xavier McKinney walk in free agency and pay Daniel Jones. Are we not looking at him making the exact same mistake by letting Jermaine Illuminor go, who you can pick up for less money APY, like you would have picked up McKinney less money APY, but you paid Jones because you thought that Jones had turned a corner and he ended up being shit? Are we taking the risk by paying Wandale off the back of one good season for him to then not perform? You see the correlation. We have a GM who has done it.
Much.
That's a big part of the reason why I said I think we extend Wandale. If Joe Shane is still there, I think we extend Wandale.
It does feel like Joe Shane's MO in the fact that he is very the here and now, and
reactive to what happened this last season.
Reactive,
not proactive.
Yeah. I think as well, you think that Wandale is one of the few Joe Shane draft picks that has worked out, so he's going to want to keep that to be able to say, look, that's
a great shout.
And I think that's one of the reasons, and that's going to be the mistake that Joe Shane. If we let Jermaine Illuminor walk, that is going to be the first of many mistakes Joe Shane is going to make as GM in the year 2026. Because for me, what have we asked for as fans over the last 3 or 4 years? We've not asked for amazing O-line. We've not asked for a top 5 O-line. We've just asked for a half-decent O-line that's consistent. We've got that. Why would you then want to disrupt it?
Yeah.
Talk about trying to fix something that's not broken. And if Joe Shane lets Jermaine Illuminor walk and Marcus Bowe fits in and Andrew Thomas stays fit all next season and Marcus Bowe balls out next year, it's going to look like an absolute genius move. But I just think that there's
what are the chances of that, though?
There's too many variables there. You don't
exactly
really know what you got with Marcus Bowe as a starter. You've seen glimpses, but you've not seen consistency. You've also not seen consistency with Andrew Thomas starting week in, week out. It's easier to get a semi-decent slot receiver in the NFL. It's really easy. It's not so easy to get a starting right tackle who's going to play over 1,000 snaps the following year.
I mean, I do have Spot Rack open. We could quite easily look at the free agents for next year at both positions. We're on the tangent train now. We might
let's do it. Let's do
it. The problem I have is I know Cap's not looking great for next year.
But there are ways to manipulate the cap.
Is Joe Shane willing to do it? Because he's not been willing to do it through 3 years.
I mean, that is one of my big bugbears, is the fact that if there's any danger of us using void years to our advantage, like loads of other bloody clubs do, then now is the time.
Clubs.
Huh? Clubs, yeah, teams, clubs. Why not? It's because I was looking at something and it said club. I mean, you're looking at slot receivers who are going to be available. I mean, Christian Kirk, in fact, was a comparison that I saw where Kirk went and got his first 1,000-year season, and the next year he set the slot market at 19 APY.
I'm not paying 19 for a slot wide receiver.
That was his average value. I mean, they're saying they don't have a market value for Christian Kirk. Obviously, he hasn't really done amazing.
If you can get Illuminor for 12 to 14, say even 13 to 15, overpaying Wandale 18 or 19 a year.
I mean, right tackles next year.
Does Wandale command that money though? In all honesty,
there is a lot
of market will dictate. Yes,
off the back of one good season, does he command that money?
I think the market will dictate it.
Yeah.
The right tackles that are above Jermaine Illuminor in the terms of their previous value are Braden Smith, Jonah Williams, Rob Havenstein, Trey Pipkins. Looking down the line, there isn't anybody that's jumping out. There's a lot of veterans coming out on the wrong side of 30. Stone Forsyth's available.
I mean, just whilst we're on a bit, obviously what the market's going to dictate. I'm just having a quick look at over the cap. The top 3 teams are the Titans, Chargers, and Raiders. All 3 of them have over 100 million cap space, and you could argue that all 3 of them have needs at wide receiver, specifically slot wide receiver. I want to say for the Chargers. I know they've got Lad McConkey, but I think he's a little bit of an inside-outside kind of guy.
Yeah, he plays a lot on the outside as well.
I don't know who the slot guy is for the Chargers. To be honest with you, I will have a look whilst I'm just chatting a little bit of shit for a minute. But the Raiders and the Titans certainly have needs at wide receiver without doubt.
Massive, yeah. I mean, I'd be very surprised if they don't pick up receivers in the draft as well, considering they're both going to be picking in the top.
I mean, the Chargers depth chart is McConkey, Quinton Johnson, Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen's getting on a bit.
33, going to be turning 34. Say Lad McConkey's an inside-outside guy. Quinton Johnson is a TCU wide receiver, so no further comments required.
He was your favourite a couple of years ago, wasn't he?
The fucking war.
I remember you saying that he was so far. Didn't Kev have him top 5? And you were like, no.
Yeah, I'm sure Kev had him in top 5.
Kev did, and either I didn't or I had him at like 5. I was just like, okay, I'll just put him in there. But yeah, that was the TCU wide receivers. But yeah, like I say, you got the top 3 teams have all got need at slot wide receiver with 100 million to spend. Why wouldn't you just say to Wandale off the back of a 1,000-yard season, you know what, here's 18, 19, 20 a year.
And this is the thing as well, right? If Joe Shane's still around and he decides to pay Wandale that type of money, it's like do you value that slot receiver position higher than you value a running back? Because if you're going to pay Wandale more money than you're willing to pay one of the best fucking running backs in the league a year, then something's not quite right here.
But someone's not quite. Look, I'm off again. Someone's not quite right anyway, Dan, because we let Xavier McKinney go because we wouldn't pay him the money that he wanted, but then we brought fucking Javon Holland in for very similar money. It makes no sense. The guy is clueless.
He's a year behind, isn't he? He's like a year delayed.
Yeah, it's like get dropped on his head as a kid or something.
Maybe that was his problem. Maybe he's a bit delayed.
I swear to God, if I'm sat here in a year's time saying, why do we pay Wandale 18 million a year and Jermaine Illuminor's balled out again on another team? Probably the Eagles or Dallas, if we're honest.
For 10 mil a year.
I genuinely don't think that we will end up paying Wandale because of the Slayton deal.
See, I think we will because it's his pick.
Unless we offload Slayton somehow.
It'll be the most giant thing to do to go and re-sign Wandale, who regresses, whilst the Illuminor falls out for 2 or 3 more years somewhere else.
But then you think obviously Wandale's only got this 1,000-yard season because Neighbours went down so early. If Neighbours didn't get injured so early in the season, Wandale doesn't get 1,000 yards this year.
And I'll be honest, he's a walking injury waiting to happen at 5'8". That's an injury waiting to happen. I'm telling you.
What, because of his height?
Sometimes when he gets up, fair play to him, he's a tough motherfucker. But some of the hits he takes, I'm like, jeez.
I mean, one of the hits he took on Sunday against the Raiders. Oh fuck!
Yeah, and he just gets up,
And he
bangs it
sprung
up,
back
bangs
up.
it up.
Yeah. It's This is why Joe Shane needs to go, because of decisions like this.
Thank you. I've been saying this for months.
I've been aboard the fire Joe Shane train for a while now. Come on.
To be fair, I'd argue we've been on it since 12 months ago.
I think Kev was the last person remaining, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know
Even
if Kev
even
again.
I think Kev was leaning.
He was leaning. I don't know if he fell over though. That man was fighting gravity, you know.
Too many Guinnesses. But no, I think if we get a competent general manager in place, he doesn't fuck it up. If we keep Joe Shane in place, all I can see is Joe Shane fucking it up.
But
Somehow, some way.
How do you reward this behaviour? Look, I need that explaining to me. I need a letter from John Marrett explaining how you reward losing seasons.
Is that is that the alert on your Apple Watch to say that your heart rate has exceeded a certain BPM?
Your heart rate has exceeded 150 beats per minute. I mean, it's a great, it's a great question, because how over the last 3 seasons have we only won 12 games out of 17, 34, 51. 51. 12. We won 12 out of 51 games over the last 3 seasons. And we're going to potentially allow the general manager that's been there for all 3 of those seasons to stay and keep his job and fuck this team up even more.
Off the back of bad roster management, off the back of bad free agent signings, off the back of deciding to let free agents go, off the back of draft picks that regress year on year. And, it's like I said earlier on in the show, like Bobby posted with John Mara last year, saying if I'm sat here, if I'm, we've got faith in these guys, if I'm having the same conversation in 12 months, well, guess what? You're better having the same conversation in 12 months' time. So when's our next episode?
When's our next episode?
Yeah.
Next week. Tuesday?
So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday time. Okay, so I'm mindful we've been going for an hour in 22. I'm not trying to round the show up, so to speak, but just look, kind of one last final one from me. Next Monday, what is it?
Black Monday.
Does Joe Shane get relieved of his duties as a New York Giants general manager, yes or no? Because we're not going to be able to talk about this until the aftermath of whether he has been sacked or not. So, what do you guys think? Is he going to be relieved of his duties? Thanks, Joe, for 3 years of shit. See you later. Or is it going to be, you know what, Joe, you've done an half-decent job these last 3 years. Here's another fucking contract extension. I agree with Steve. He should be relieved of his duties, but I have no faith in this team, in this organisation, in these owners to make the right decision for the fans that are suffering week in, week out at this point.
And this is the thing. It's like I don't. That question is like almost impossible to predict, because I honestly don't know.
It's not more. It's just what do you think? It's not like what are you saying is going to. What do you think will happen? Will we be tuning in next Tuesday, next Wednesday, whenever it might be, and talking about Joe Shane's plans?
I think he gets fired.
Really?
I think he gets fired. I think there's a lot of talk out there about what's going to happen, but I don't think one win against a bad Raiders team is enough for them to kind of solidify that. And I've got a feeling that Tish might try and get involved again. Tish normally gets involved if there's a firing, So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. The only thing that could save Joe Shane's job could be John Mara's health.
And that's a terrible thing to say, really, Eddie.
It is.
Not saying that you saying that, but like, if that's what it takes or what it comes like, I mean, look, how are you not Joe Shane and turning around and saying, you know what, I'm not the right man here?
Yeah, but you know what?
You wouldn't know, would you? You wouldn't.
No, at some point you got to have some accountability. How can you have them owners call you in the office and you're going to sit in a desk across them and say, I'm the right guy to turn this organisation around off the back of these last 3 years?
Yeah, like one thing that really sort of makes me think we will fire him is think back to 2017. We fired Jerry Reese off the back of a 3-13 season. The previous year, we were 11-5, went to the playoffs, lost in the wildcard round. Under Jerry Reese, we won 2 Super Bowls in 11 years. Jerry Reese, in the entire time he was in charge as GM, the team won more games than we lost. Joe Shane has the second worst winning record of a GM in Giants history, behind Dave Gettleman. We fired Dave Gettleman after 4 years. Yeah, we let him go via the back door, whatever happened with him. But you're telling me that the Maras and the Tishes decided to fire Jerry Reese after one bad season? One bad season. Across the entirety of the 11 years he was in charge, he had 4 losing seasons. We fired Jerry Reese after one bad season, and we keep Joe Shane around after 3 in a row. No, I'm sorry. That doesn't cut it. If Joe Shane's not fired come Monday, I don't think he is, because there is no valid reasons to why Joe Shane keeps his job at this point. Results say everything, regardless of how good his draft picks have been, regardless of anything else. The results on the field speak volumes. And if after the last 3 seasons where we've won 12 combined games out of 51, he's not relieved of his duties, something's wrong. And then that's when we need to look at ownership, because then that you just think like, what the fucking hell are these owners doing? So for me, Joe Shane's fired come Monday, and I hope it happens.
Well, I hope you boys are right. I genuinely do. You don't want to see anyone lose their job, and I don't mean that in a malicious way, but
no, not at all.
I think it's what's best for this organisation going forward. See, John, it's that simple. That's all we've got to say. It's for what's for the rest of this organisation going forward.
Yeah,
that's great.
And like you rightly said, if he's in the same position in a year's time, you are in the same position in a year's time. So what are you going to do about it, John? Yeah, what are you going to do about it? And on that note, I think it's all I've got time for this evening, and not just for this evening, but for this year, as we will be back on Tuesday night at the usual time. And is it Tuesday? It is Tuesday. Yeah, let's double check that. On Tuesday night at the usual time for our game/season review. Yes, we're going to review the whole season.
We're going for every game.
Not a chance.
Oh, I was going to say.
No, we're just going to go.
Availability to unavailable.
We're just going to go.
Your prep from Monday, Shane, is to watch all 17 games again?
Absolutely no fucking chance. I'd rather text
finally
watch the Villa play.
89th minute. Oh, he's offside. Oh, fuck off. Bollocks.
You just keep ruining my nose at these points.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Where was I? Yeah, whole season. We're going to look back and go, oh, well, that was shit. Let's move on. So, yeah, make sure you join us for that. We're going to look back at our predictions as well. Are we going through bowl predictions or just season predictions?
Oh, no, we're going whole hog.
Oh,
the whole shebang. Hog. The whole shebang.
Oh,
love it. Bowl predictions will be reviewed next Tuesday. So we've got all that to look forward to. Anything to add before we go, guys?
No, just, even hopefully we've entertained people. even when we lose and even when we win, when we don't really want to win. But now, thanks to everyone who's tuned in tonight and been active in the comments. I hope you all have a good new year, great new year, and hopefully the Giants go on to have a better new year. But that's going to start with a new general manager, all being well. And we'll be back next Tuesday, where hopefully we are going to be talking about Joe Shane's sacking. I was going to say Joe Shane shacking. Joe Shane's sacking.
Joe Shane shacking.
What the show?
It's hard to say it's been a good year, but it has been a good year. I actually think that 2025 has been one of our stronger years as a collective show, and obviously we've put out a hell of a lot of content this year. So thank you to anyone who's watched 2 minutes or 100 episodes or however many silly episodes we put out during a year. But appreciate it. Have a good New Year's, and hopefully we look forward to a more fruitful 2026.
I mean, it can't get any worse than 2025 has.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Why?
Why not? Why not? As the song says, things can only get better, right?
Stop it in the stream.
No, but obviously, last part of the year, and it has been a really good year. It's been a fun year. So we put a lot out there. So we appreciate every single one of you for getting involved in comments, for watching, for listening, for leaving us 5-star reviews, for interacting with us on X, on Facebook, on TikTok, whatever platform you're on. We appreciate every single one of you. From all of us here at the podcast, we want to wish you all a very happy, prosperous new year, and let's hope it's the same for the Giants. Let's hope it's the beginning of a more successful era for the New York Football Giants, because 2025 has been tough. It's been tough watching. It's been tough going. So let's hope it gets better. But anyway, to everyone watching this evening, appreciate getting involved in the comments. As usual, we appreciate and we love you getting involved. And my thanks as ever go to Shane and to Craig for joining me. We are signing off. Until next time, Happy New Year. Let's go Giants.